Hello everyone, welcome back to online practical lab session of first year PUC. Today is the fourth experiment of our first PUC electronics syllabus, that is verification of Kirchhoff's current law. According to Kirchhoff, there are two different laws. One is Kirchhoff's voltage law, which is called as KVL, and other one is Kirchhoff's current law, which is denoted by KCL. In the last experiment, we conducted KVL, that is the Kirchhoff's voltage law. So today we will be dealing with the next experiment, that is Kirchhoff's current law. According to the Kirchhoff, the algebraic sum of the currents entering a node will be equal to algebraic sum of the currents leaving that node. Node is nothing but a point where the current divides. If I am going to consider this as a point and I will be having a number of branches to this point like this. If I am going to tell that there are two currents which are entering towards that node and three currents which are leaving away from that node, then the algebraic sum of the currents which are entering the node must be equal to algebraic sum of the currents leaving that node. If I am going to name these currents as I1, I2, I3, I4 and I5, according to KCL, I1 plus I2 must be equal to I3 plus I4 plus I5, because I1 and I2 are the currents entering towards the node. Node is nothing but a point where current divides, and that must be equal to the algebraic sum of the currents leaving that node, that is I3 plus I4 plus I5. According to this diagram, this will be considered as the node. So to this node, this is the current which is entering. As soon as the current reaches this point, there are two separate branches. One is this branch, the other one is this branch. So as soon as the current reaches this node, the current will take two different directions. If I am going to name this current as I and these two currents as I1 and I2, the algebraic sum of the currents entering the node is nothing but I. That must be equal to I1 plus I2. So I is equal to I1 plus I2. To conduct this experiment, we are using two resistors, each having a value of 100 ohms. To measure the current which is flowing through that branch, we are going to use ammeters. In order to measure the total current I am using a separate ammeter, and to measure the two currents I1 and I2, I am using a separate ammeters. So totally we will be using 3 ammeters, 2 resistors having a value of 100 ohms and a RPS, that is regulated DC power supply, in order to vary the voltage. So this is a tabular column where I will be doing 5 different trials. I will be varying a voltage of RPS in steps of 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, and I will be noting down the values of I, I1 and I2. I is the current which is showing in the ammeter, this one. I1 is the current value showing in this ammeter. I2 is the current value which is showing in the third ammeter. So after taking down all the 3 different values I, I1, I2 for different RPS voltages, we have to do the last part, that is the calculation part, where I must be equal to I1 plus I2. So for this, I already told you we will be using 3 ammeters, each having a range of 0 to 200 milliamps. Each are DC ammeters, 2 resistors, each having a value of 100 ohms and 1 RPS. So let us begin with the circuit connection of this experiment. For this experiment, I will be using 3 ammeters. Let me consider this as I, I1 and I2. In order to vary the voltage, I will be using a DC regulated power supply, that is a DC RPS, whose range is 0 to 30 volts, but I will be varying voltage in steps of 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. And for this experiment, I need 2 resistors, each having a value of 100 ohms. So the resistors are connected between these terminals. This is R1 and this is R2. So each are having 100 ohms. So let us begin with the circuit connection. Firstly, we have to connect the positive of the power supply to positive terminal of ammeter I. So these are the positive and negative terminals of RPS, positive negative terminal of I, positive negative terminal of I1, positive and negative terminal of I2. Positive of the RPS must be connected to positive terminal of the ammeter I. The negative terminal of the ammeter I must be connected to positive terminal of I1 and I2. So firstly, let me connect negative terminal of I2, positive terminal of I1, and the same, either I can connect the wire to this point or to this point. So the same point must be connected to positive terminal of I2. After that, the negative terminal of I1 must be connected to one terminal of the power supply, one terminal of the resistor. Let me use this as R1. The other end of the resistor must be connected back to negative terminal of the RPS. So I am using one end of the one end of the resistance will be connected to negative terminal of I1, and the other end of the resistance will be connected to the negative terminal of RPS. Similarly, the negative end of the I2 will be connected to one end of the resistor. The other end of the resistor will be connected back to negative terminal of the RPS. So after the circuit connection, let us switch on the power supplies of main power supply as well as the power buttons of this RPS. After switching on the power supply, let us set the voltage of RPS to 1 volts for the very first trial. So I will be using this coarse and the fine knob to set the voltage of RPS to 1 volts. So now I have set the RPS voltage to 1 volts. So after setting the RPS voltage to 1 volts, I have to note down the values of ammeters I, I1 and I2. This is the I value, this is I1 and this is I2. I is showing me a reading of 21.2. I is showing me a reading of 20.7. I1 is showing me a value of 10.5 and I2 is showing me a reading of 10.3. You have to note down these values. For the second trial, let us vary the RPS voltage and set to 2 volts. So use the fine knob and set the voltage of RPS to 2 volts. So now the RPS voltage is set to 2 volts. Accordingly, note down the ammeter readings. I is showing me a reading of 38.8, I1 is 19.5, I2 is 19.8. Accordingly, vary the RPS voltage in steps of 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. I have taken the 2 trials. We have to take the 3 different trials, 3 more trials, that is 3 volts. Set the RPS voltage to 3 volts. For the RPS voltage of 3 volts, I value is 58.1, I1 is 29.2 and I2 is 29.6. Accordingly, I will vary the RPS voltage to 4 volts and 5 volts and take down the readings of I, I1 and I2. After taking down the readings, you have to switch off the power button of this RPS and switch off the power button of the main power supply. So after taking the readings for different trials, that is for 1 volts, 2 volts, 3 volts, 4 volts and 5 volts in the RPS, I have tabulated the readings of I, I1 and I2 in the tabular column. Now you have to write the last tabular column, that is you have to fill the last tabular column. I is equal to I1 plus I2. For that you have to do the calculation. Even though the calculations are simple, you have to show these calculations separately for each and every trial in the exams. So the total current I must be equal to I1 plus I2. For the first trial, I value is equal to 20.6, whereas I1 value is 10.3, I2 value is 10.5. The total current I is 20.6, but I1 plus I2 value is 20.8. You have to write with the unit. So this is milliamps, even this is milliamps. So I1 plus I2 is approximately equal to 20.6 milliamps. So let me write this reading in the last column, that is 20.8 milliamps. Accordingly, you have to calculate the total current I for each and every different trials. For the second trial, I1 value is 19.5 and I2 value is 19.8. Accordingly, I will be getting a reading of 39.3 milliamps. For the third trial, 29.2 plus 29.6 and the answer will be 58.8. And this one for the fourth trial, 39.8 plus 40.4 will give me a reading of 80.2. And for the last trial, 50.1 plus 50.8 is equal to 100.9. According to this experiment, we have calculated the total current I, that is the sum of I1 and I2 for different values of RPS voltage. If you look into the tabular column, this reading and this reading are almost matching. So, according to this experiment, that is Kirchhoff's current law, the the total current I is equal to the sum of the two currents I1 and I2. The result is the Kirchhoff's current law is verified and we observe that the total current I is approximately equal to I1 plus I2, which is the statement for KCL, that is the total current. The algebraic sum of the current entering the node must be equal to algebraic sum of the currents leaving that node. I hope you are very much clear with this experiment. In my next session, I will be coming with a new experiment. Until then, take care. Bye-bye.